Now, there's a Facebook video going about at the moment with a guitarist who's strumming Wonderwall with lots of ladies around him, and at the end is a bass player, sort of geeky, sort of with one girl that's just sort of playing like this. That's a shame. I mean, yeah, of course, we don't do this just for the sake of attracting members of the opposite sex. He is playing, well, he thinks he's playing Seven Nation Army. Now, lots of people go like this. Lots and lots and lots of work involved there when you could do this. Now, lots of people think that, you know, if it's rock music like that, that you can essentially you can play really hard, but actually you need it to be more precise when you're playing rock, because very often if you've got an overdrive pedal or like a fuzz pedal or something, it will accentuate any slight problems that are there. Many people often think that sort of people that play rock music are quite sort of aggressive and approximate with their playing. Actually, the opposite is true. If you listen to Sex Pistols albums, if you listen to Holidays in the Sun or Anarchy in the UK or whatever, the quality of the musicianship on that record is really high. When you listen to it in depth, away from the, you know, if you listen to the guitar parts, you can hear that there's quite a lot of quality there. So, Seven Nation Army then. It is a very simple riff that, if it's played well, will really, really work. If it's not going to work. For me, the best bit about that riff is those long notes in the second bar, because if they are absolutely in time, the whole thing just grooves. It's about groove, being in the pocket. If you rush those two notes, the whole rhythmic impact of that first bar has been lost. So once again, we've got all four fingers here, starting on E, 7th fret A string, then a G, which is 10th fret A string. Once again, with your last finger here, as I described in one of my other videos, keep it really tense so that you've got a straight last finger from knuckle to tip, using this part of your hand as kind of a reinforcing sort of rod for your last finger, because by itself it's very, very weak. It's a bit different if you're up here playing. Doing things up there, it's fine to be a bit more delicate because the frets are closer together. So E, E, G, E, last finger on D on the E string, which is 10th fret, middle finger on C, which is 8th, and index finger on 7. And it's slightly different the second time. You got that continuation of that sort of triplet rhythm. Now, it has more impact in this position than it would here. It's not as meaty there. It's all to do with the physics of the string and how long it is and how thick it is and all that sort of stuff that determines the difference between this timbre, this one, and this one. They are very different sounds. Now, it's necessary really to keep the beat very, very accurate on here. So get your drummer app out if you're an iOS device user, or program something up if you're on GarageBand or Logic or any of the other programs, Fruity Loops, Ableton, anything. Program up a very simple drum rhythm. Drum rhythms are much easier to practice with if they're simple in the first place and they haven't got the sort of same fill every 2 bars or whatever. Just gunt, cut, dunt, cut, dunt, cut, dunt. Then you have something that's can't do it at the same time. But you can hear what I mean. Avoid playing with a metronome if you can. Metronomes, not only do they drive you around the twist after a while with the beep, boop, boop, or they're not actually giving you much. They're just giving you the main beats. Whereas a drummer, you've got the hi-hats on the offbeat 8th notes. Dunt, cut, dunt, cut, dunt, cut, dunt, cut, dunt, dunt, cut. Dun, 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 dun. And you can get 8th beat variations in the bass drum as well. You can get 16th in the snare. Dun, cut, get, dun, cut, dun, cut, get, dun, cut, dun, cut. So it's just more fun to play with, and actually better for you anyway, because you've got more to grab onto. So there is Seven Nation Army. That is it, really. You've just got that. But it gives you a measure of how good the tune was in the first place to make use of something as iconic and as simple as that. If it was doesn't do anything, it just clutters. There we go.